Brittney. I hope you guys had a great New Year's. I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A video instead of answering your questions on Instagram. So let's get started. What lenses do you own? Alright, so I have a couple of lenses, or actually I have 4 lenses, but the 2 that I use most of the time is the 50mm 1.4. I use that 99.99% of the time. It is my absolute favorite lens. I use it for basically every picture that I have on Instagram, for the sunflower pictures, all of it. And the other lens that I use is the 85mm 1.8, and I use that mostly for weddings. I'll have that lens on one camera and my 50 on another camera, and so I basically only shoot with those 2 lenses. I have a macro lens too that I use for like ring shots and maybe like pictures of baby features, but that is about it. Those are my 3 lenses that I use most of the time, but the 50mm is my #1 recommended lens. Let me make sure it's on. Okay, thank God. How do I find my models? I find my models by following other photographers in my area and looking at the models that they work with, and I usually message them on Instagram or Facebook and say something along the lines of, hey, my name is Brittney, I'm a photographer in your area, I really like your style, I like your hair, like give them a compliment, and then just say, I would love to work with you, you know, give me your time and I'll give you some awesome images, or I'm building my portfolio, or something along the lines of that. Sometimes I use Model Mayhem, but it's a little bit sketchy. I've heard about a lot of dangerous things that have happened on there, so be very, very careful, especially if you're a girl photographer or you are a girl model. Just be really careful. Always bring a friend with you. Just practice safe model finding. One of my top questions asked is, how do I pose my models? Basically, every single photo shoot I do, I have music playing, Pandora. I ask them what kind of music they like. I tell them just to dance with the music. I'm not very like posy. Everything is always in motion. If you look through my camera raw images, you'll see that it's very sequential and it's just one after another. There's very few images where I'll be like, oh my gosh, stay there, I want to get this image perfect, so I'll have them go back to that pose or reenact that pose. But basically they're always moving. There's really no stopping. And that is how I pose my models. When did you start photography? When I was 7, my dad gave me a film camera and we took it to the San Diego Zoo, and I took a picture of a bear and I just absolutely loved it. And so my dad bought me at first a little digital camera, and I shot with that until I was 16. And then for my 16th birthday, he bought me a DSLR camera. And that is when I started becoming, I guess, a professional, when I started taking family portraits and that kind of stuff. Where are you from and how old are you? I lived in Germany until I was about 5 years old, and then we moved to California in the Sacramento area, and then right now I live in Southern California, going to college right now, studying psychology, not photography, and I turned 21 in September. What inspires you to take photos? My biggest inspiration comes from my faith. I am a Christian, so whether it's reading scripture or listening to Christian music, that is probably my biggest source of inspiration. I also find inspiration in movies, on Pinterest, reading books, that kind of stuff. What's your favorite type of photo shoot to do? My favorite types of shoots are creative shoots or stylized ones. Most of my photo shoots are just kind of spur of the moment. Take your favorite outfit from your closet and let's go shoot it.
You right?
And I also really love family portraits, sometimes weddings. It depends if there's a bridezilla or not. How did you get started getting clients for your photography? I started getting clients by asking my friends' families if they wanted to do family portraits or whatever type of photo shoot, and I would do it at a low cost at first. I started doing it when I was 16, so I would do $80 for like an hour, give them 20 pictures or so. And then every single shoot that I did after that, I started bumping up my prices about $10 to $15, and from there I got to where I am right now. My most frequently asked question of all time involves my distinct style of my photography, and it's, how do I get my sun flares or my orange glow or whatever you want to call it? Can I say so again?
No.
It is too hard to explain in a short Q&A video, so I'm going to be making a video pretty soon that explains how to do that in a lot more depth. It has to deal with the time of day, the camera equipment, posing the model, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that video. Where do you find your locations to shoot at? I've been really, really lucky to grow up in a beautiful part of Northern California. I can walk out of my door and there's beautiful locations to shoot at everywhere. But usually if I'm driving around a new area, I just have a mental check of where these locations are, and I will just pull them out whenever I have a photo shoot. Thanks for watching my Q&A video. I hope that it answered some of the questions that you had about my photography. Stay stay tuned for my sunflower video that should be coming up in the near future. And just go grab your camera, go grab your friend, and go shoot. Don't get discouraged if your pictures don't turn out perfect. The moment you start shooting, just go and do it, and with time, you will be confident in your work. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. How do you avoid unwanted sunflares? I don't. I welcome all sunflares.